ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। सुमुखश्च एकदन्तश्च कपिलो गजकर्णकः लंबोदरश्च विकटो विघ्नराजो विनायकः धूमकेतुर्गणाध्यक्षः पालचन्द्रो गजाननः वक्रतुण्डः शूर्पकर्णो हेरम्बः स्कन्धपूर्वजः शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये यस्यद्विरदवक्त्राद्या पारिषद्या परस्ततं विघ्नं निघ्नन्ति सततं विश्वक्सेनं तमाश्रये। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुसाक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय कृष्णाय अक्लिष्टकारिणे नमो वेदान्तवेद्याय गुरवे बुद्धिसाक्षिणे कृष्णद्वैपायनं व्यासं सर्वभूतहिते रतं वेदाब्जभास्करं वन्दे समाधिनिलयं मुनिं जन्माद्यस्य यतः अन्वयात् इतरतश्च अर्थेषु अभिघ्नतस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदायः आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत् सूरयः तेजोवारिमृगां यथा विनिमयः यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि धर्मः प्रोचितकैतवोऽत्र परमो निर्मत्सराणां सतां वेद्यं वास्तवम् अत्र वस्तु शिवदं तापत्रयोन्मूलनम् श्रीमद्भागवते महामुनिकृते किं वा परैरीश्वरः सद्यो हृदि अवरुध्यते अत्र कृतिभिः शुश्रूषुभिः तत्क्षणात् निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलं सुखमुखात् अमृतद्रवसंयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुरहो रसिकाः भुवि भावुकाः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत्। Now with Bhagavan's grace, let us continue partaking slokams 38 to 44 in Adhyayam 25, Skandham 3. And in relation to that, after covering the slokams, we went to Bhagavad Gita, where the same Kapila Muni in the Krishna Avataram is explaining the same truth, same teaching. Truth is only one, Ekam Sat. There's only one. And so we were covering that, and we went to Adhyayam 13. We looked at slokam in Bhagavad Gita 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. We looked at, and today we will take up slokams 23, 28, and 34 in Adhyayam 13, continuing the teaching of Kapila Muni, where he says, after reaching this place, there is no return. Kala Chakram cannot act. This has to be done through Jnana Vairagya Yuktena Bhakti Yogena Yoginaha. Only through Bhakti this is attained. And what is that Bhakti? What is that Jnanam? We saw that as Swami himself defines it, what Jnanam is and how that can come about in the pathway. We covered that. So we'll go to slokam 23 in Adhyayam 13, where Swami says in Bhagavad Gita, where Kapila Muni says, once he has attained this state of mind, your Kala Chakram cannot even touch him, right? So there is no death. There is no death, there is no birth. Number 23 in Bhagavad Gita, Adhyayam 13, Kshetra Kshetrajya Vibhaga Yogam. Evam veti purusham prakritim cha gunaihi saha sarvata vartamanopi naha sa bhuyah abhijayate. Evam veti purusham prakritim cha gunaihi saha sarvata vartamanaha api na saha bhuyah abhijayate. Bhagavan has Nirgunam. beyond all the three gunas. We are bound by the three gunas in Prakriti. Prakriti is nothing but, as we covered earlier in a few times, that Prakriti is nothing but the three gunas, and in the passage of time it gets disturbed, the three gunas, the equilibrium gets disturbed, and then creation begins. Right? We saw that. So Prakriti means you can very safely understand it. Prakriti, divine, done by divinity, supreme action, and that is nothing but three gunas. But Bhagavan is beyond the three gunas, and we are everything in this world, in this universe, is bound by the three gunas. The gross manifestation, the gross appearances are Panchabhutangal. But our thought, for example, if you take, yes, there are three gunas. Even the charity, the act of worship, okay, whatever we do, the intelligence, ability to understanding different things, speaking, whatever it may be, it's all bound by, it's all the three gunas, Sattvic Gunam, Rajasic Gunam, and Tamasic Gunam. There is Sattvic understanding, Rajasic understanding, Tamasic understanding. There is Sattvic Chintanai, Rajasic Chintanai, and Tamasic Chintanai, like that. Everything is three. So, here, yaha evam veti purusham prakritim cha gunaihi saha. Yaha who evam this way purusham gunaihi saha prakritim cha. Purusham, the Purushottaman, the Parabrahman, the Nirguna Atma, Paramatma. Gunaihi saha prakritim cha. The Prakriti which is bound by the three gunas. Veti, one who knows. Saha, he. Sarvata Vartamanaha api. In whatever way he leads his life. Whatever way he leads his life. Because the gunas don't touch him. Right? Bhuyaha na abhijayate. He is not born again. So this is the again another point on the Kala Chakram not touching him. Right? As Kapila Muni talks about. So let us move on to Slokam 28. So what is this place where Bhagavan, these are Brahmi, Sthitihi, Vaikuntham, all the words that we talk about. Okay? 28 and 34. Okay. Okay, let us continue this and then the description of the Brahmi Sthiti comes again. Okay. 30. What's the number I said? 34, I think. No, 28. 28, and then we'll take up 34 in Adhyayam 13. In 28, Samam Pasyat Iha Sarvatra Samavasthitam Iswaram. Nahi Nasyati Atmana Atmanam Tataha Yati Param Gatim. This Param Gatim is very important. This place that Kapila Muni is telling Devahuti, she wanted to know what this moksham is. Bhagavan describes this right at the beginning. This beyond where Sukham and Dukkham. There is no difference. So what is that? At least now the curiosity is there. So Bhagavan is describing it. And it is impossible to understand it. You have to know and experience it. But he describes it. So he says, Samam Pasyan Iha Sarvatra Samavasthitam Iswaram. One of you, could you please check your mute, whether you muted it? I think the person who joined latest probably, and press. I think it is *6 or #6 or one of those. Okay. So if you could mute yourself, I appreciate it. Samam pasyan iha sarvatra samavasthitam iswaram. Nahi nasyati atmana atmanam tataha yati paramgate. Saha he, the one we just talked about, okay, Yevam Veti Purusha Prakriti Gunehi Saha in 23, we saw that person, he in truth, Sarvatra Samam Samavasthitam Iswaran. Sarvatra, in everywhere, Samam, the oneness, only one entity is present. Samavasthitam, established firmly, unshakably, all the time. That Iswaram Pasyan. That Iswaran, he sees him. Sees him not with the external eyes, the internal eyes. same Bhagavan, I see him inside, I touch him, I get that experience. The same Bhagavan is seen outside. What is inside me is what I see outside. If my mind is, to very simply put, if I'm an habitual liar, for example, I think everybody is a liar. But if I'm a very innocuous person, innocent person, I see everybody is innocent. So it's what is in me that is really reflected outside. Okay, that is when Pasyan, he sees him, experiences him. Atmana Atmanam. And by himself, Atmana means by himself. Atmanam, himself, him, na hinasti. Na hinasti, does not destroy. Because once I touch and see the Atma, the Parameswaran within me, the Paranjyoti, right? With that Jyoti, which is me, with that, I don't destroy myself. Because there's no destruction, there's no birth. There's no birth, there's no death. Okay? And Swami says beautifully, the same Avatar portion, he explains it in English very beautifully. He says, my life is my message. Bhagavan's Avataram is the message. And expansion is life, not contraction. That is why the whole universe is expanding physically. Okay? Nothing contracts. Everything expands. Right? Even the cells in our body, they expand and break into two, right? We all know that. Everything is expansive. Now in thermodynamics, they call it as entropy. That is another issue. Point is, everything is expands. So life is, expansion is life. I must open my heart and get away from this narrow selfishness that is binding me into all this misery and all that. Open it up. Expand more and more. Don't limit my family only to me and my spouse and my children. No, expand it to include one more family, to include friends, to include slowly everybody. Mentally, we must be expansive. So that is what life is. If I experience that love, which is really the Swarupam of Bhagavan, is nothing but prema, and Svabhavam is nothing but Shanti, then there is no birth, there is no death. That is what he is saying. Atmana Atmanam Nahinasati. Tataha Param Gatim Yati. With that Anubhavam, Yat Bhavam Tad Bhavati. With that Anubhavam, he attains, becomes one with the Param Gatim, the supreme state. That is 28. Now we will take up one more slokam, 34 from here. क्षेत्रज्ञः एवं antaram jnana chakshusha. This jnana chakshusha is very important. That is an inner vision. Bhuta prakriti moksham cha yaha viduhu yanti te param. Again, Bhagavan repeats. Kshetrajnyoho evam antaram jnana chakshusha bhuta prakriti moksham cha ye viduhu yanti te param. Ye viduhu te yanti param. Param yanti. Ye, one who viduhu knows, te hi param yanti, attain the supreme state. Who is this? Kshetrajnah evam antaram jnana chakshusha. Evam, this way, as is explained, Kshetrajnyoho. Kshetra means embodiments, various appearances. Could be a speck of dust, could be a human body, could be a blade of grass, it could be anything. Okay? That's called the Kshetram. But Kshetrajna is the indweller who knows about this. So the Kshetra, the Paramatma, Atma, whatever you want to call him, that's nothing but selfless love on an anubhavam basis. So the moment I experience and personalize it, it becomes only prema, only, there's nothing else. So then I can relate to it, isn't it? Because we all need love. We are all sustained only by love. We are all nurtured only by love. Just imagine when a person is rejected, what happens to that person? He becomes depressed, isn't it? Very simple. So the whole society is a body of Bhagavan. Each one of us is bound only by love, not by the differences in your appearances and status and gender and this and that and all that. No. The connecting thing, the garland, the string that connects all of us, the invisible string, is prema only. That is what we are attached to, and that is what we seek. And that is a Kshetrajna. So one who Kshetrajnoho Antaram. Now, if that is the case, but the Kshetra appears different, so many people appear different. One person is angry, the other person is loving, one person is selfish, the other person is more charitable. So many things are there, varieties are there. So, but the differences are there. Yes, this is the differentiation, this is the Visargam. So, all the differences are there, but one who sees the Bhuta, Prakriti, Mokshancha, all the appearances that are appearing, where do they disappear? They disappear in this oneness. The appearance are also in oneness, and the disappearance is also in the oneness. Simple example, it requires lots of practice to be completely established and firmly established in this. That is why Karma Palatyagam is described. We're going to see that in the next slokam also. But if you look at a statue, in your house you may have a statue of Krishna, Rama, or whatever it may be, or go to the temple and the Garbhagraham, you look at Bhagavan and pray, right? So I look at a bronze statue of Krishna playing the flute, and when I look at it as Krishna playing the flute, the bronze material disappears. When I look at it as a bronze statue, the Krishna disappears. Simple. So, but which one disappeared in what? What happened there? What is the oneness there? The seer. I am the one that is seeing through me. That remains constant. So both the appearance and the disappearance, both of them, they merge together. They dissolve. Is only that is the seer. That is the entity. That is the Kshetrajna, the one who knows this. And that is the Jnana Chakshushu, the indweller, the internal vision, which means I focus on the indweller and become closer and closer to him and keep him in my mind more often. Then the Jnana Chakshushu slowly starts developing. Every one of us have that. We just don't use it. Ye viduhu, whoever experiences this way, they param yanti, they attain the supreme state. So the same teaching has been taught by Bhagavan. We saw that very quickly. Let's move on to Adhyayam 18. Take up Slokam 49. Moksha Sannyasa Yogam. That is the name that Vyasa Bhagavan has given. Moksham, Sannyasam. Okay? And the Yogam. That's it. The pathway as well as merging in it. Moksham is what Kapila Muni described. He described it simply as saying moksha means moha chayam, where there is no illusion, there is no delusion. Okay, that's the quick meaning of it. But Kapila Muni now described this as a state where there is no sukham or dukkam, sukha dukkhe, samye kritva, all these things. But where is it? How is it? How to do this? What is the state? Right? So then moksha, sannyasa. Sannyasa. Nyasa means firmly established. Permanently established, son with Bhagavan, some supreme divinity, right? Sannyasa means not giving up. Sannyasa means attaching to the sun. We say Sanno Mitratam Varunaha. That's where we begin. But this sun is Bhagavan's company, right? With the divine attachment, firm attachment, firmly placing myself in that divinity, in that supreme entity. Okay? Moksha, Sannyasa, Vibhaga Yogam. Okay? Vibhaga means the different ways of approaching it. Right? But the entity is the same. Now here in Slokam 48, not 48. I think I got the number wrong. 49, yeah. 49. See, again, Jnana Vairagya Yuktena Bhakti Yogena Yoginaha, Kapila Muni says. Now watch. 49 says, Asakta Buddhihi Sarvatra Jitatma Vigatas Prajaha Naishkarmya Siddhim Paramam Sanyasena adhigacchati. Okay. Asakta buddhihi sarvatra jitatma vigatas pragaha naishkarmya siddhim paramam sanyasena adhigacchati. Sarvatra, everywhere, all places, everywhere. Asakta buddhihi, without being attached to the material world. Asaktam buddhihi, the buddhi is so strong and firm, it is not attached to the temporary things at all. Jitatma, one who has attained victory, one who has won over the internal impulses of the mind. Okay? There are 4 Attakaranams are there. One who has won over them, Jitatma. To start with, one who has controlled the senses. But then, the ones that the senses are under control, automatically the mind then will become under control after that. You can establish it wherever you want. So let us start with sense control, where Swami begins in Sankhya Yoga. So, Jitatma, Vigada Sprugaha. Vigada Sprugaha. Sprugaha, Vigada means giving up. Sprugaha means all the sparsam, we say, all the things we touch with our 5 senses. So, what does that mean? Giving up all desires. No desires. Just go on. Just the way birds are, the animals are, the plants are. Okay? We live. Yes, live happily, live joyously. Yes, enjoy everything that Bhagavan has given. Himself, he says, I've created all this for your pleasure and enjoyment only. Who can create a sunset, you tell me, right? Or such a beautiful flower blooming. I mean, there's so many things we can enjoy in life. But don't enjoy it with a sense of ownership. No, they don't belong to you. Enjoy it as my trustee. Okay, without attachment. Right? So, that Vigada Sprugaha, without mind getting agitated due to desire, then Sannyasena, this is where sannyasam becomes important. Not a ochre robe and taking a kamandalam in the hand and going to the forest. Absolutely not. Sannyasam means mind established firmly, nyasam, sannyasam, as we saw a few minutes ago. That means mind firmly established in him. Sannyasena, very important. Naishkarmya siddhim paramam. Paramam, the most supreme state, as you and I live in this body. Forget what's going to happen once we leave the body. We don't know. Honestly, I don't know. So many people talk about it, but I don't know. Honestly, right? But Naishkarmya, while I'm living in this body, I'm having experiences. Suppose if I get supreme divine state, right, as I'm existing in this body itself, as I'm aware, that is Naishkarmya Siddhim Paramam. Siddhim, fulfillment of Naishkarmyam. That means Nishkama Karma. Nishkama Karma. That is where in Adhyayam Sankhya Yogam, Bhagavan says, Karmanyeva adhikaraste ma paleshu kadachana. If desire is not yours, you will get desire, but don't, result you will get, but don't desire it. That doing the activity as karma pala tyagam, again as emphasized throughout Bhagavad Gita and by Kapila Muni here we saw earlier also, is nishkama karma, karma pala tyagam. Very important. Tyagam means I have to give it up. But give it up where? Where will I place it? I just cannot say go. I'm not going to go somewhere because mind doesn't know where to put it. So I put it at the lotus feet of Bhagavan. The results of my action, Swami, you take care. That becomes, then slowly mind becomes established. Asakta buddhihi. Then Vigada Sprugaha. Sannyasena. That sannyasam is the mind giving up everything to one point, which is Bhagavan's lotus feet. That's sannyasena. When I do that, continuously I start practicing, but I'm doing it. Naishkarmya siddhim. The fulfillment of that happens. and that is the fulfillment of all the karmapala tyagam, the exercises, activities, and slowly I ripen in that process. Right now I may be just a bud. Doesn't matter. I will bloom. There comes an unripe fruit. Then I will ripen also. Then finally, when that so much sweetness comes there, that fruit actually falls by itself. That siddhim, that fulfillment, Naishkarmya siddhim paramam adhikachati. He attains it promptly. What is the qualification given here? Sarvatra asakta buddhi. Without any place you go to, doesn't matter, wherever I am, whatever time it may be, okay, whatever work I do, not being attached to it. That means I'm attached to something else. Okay? Then jitatma, with sense control and control of mind, because that's pragaha, without really any desires, but very happily. The desireless state is not very passive. It's a very dynamic, kinetic state of one of tremendous joy and happiness, like the way a child moves about, a newborn baby, beautifully. Yeah, I become hungry, I eat and move on, like that. But very happy all the time. The worries come because of desires. Fear comes because of desires. Anxiety comes because of desires. Everything in our life, all the things that happens to us, only common entity, common factor, that denomination is only desire. We saw that in Bhagavan describes that very beautifully in the Sakya Yoga itself. This is the greatest enemy, even for the most well-educated, highest scholar and highest tapasvi and rishis and jnanis and everyone. The enemy is desire. So learn to control that. And he explained where the desire comes from. We saw that. Yeah. And so this vikataspuraha, without controlling all the rest, the sense control, the mind control, no desire, sanyasena naishkarmya siddhim paramam adhikachati. Only through that is the true sannyasam. With mind placed in Bhagavan's lotus feet, you attain the param gatim, which is moksham. Moksham was described earlier very briefly. How to attain it, again Bhagavan revises it, reviews it, and he is going to continue through 50 and all that. I will take a slokam 50 and then we'll conclude for today, because Swami is so compassionate. I'm not able to stop here. So number 50, in continuing on Adhyayam 18, okay. Siddhim praptaha yata brahma tatapnoti nibodhame. What is that siddhim, that fulfillment, that final state? Samasena eva kaunteya nishta jnanasya ya para. Siddhim praptaha yata brahma tata apnoti nibodhame. Samasena eva kaunteya nishta jnanasya ya para. Kaunteya, he says, siddhim, that fulfillment, that siddhi, praptaha, one who has attained it, the fulfillment of the nishkama karma yogam, that is karma yogam, karma sannyasa yogam, as it is the title in Adhyayam number 4. Okay, so this is nishkama karma yogam. That is the pathway prescribed. Okay, that one who has attained the fulfillment of that, yata, in which way? Jnanasya ya paranishtha. Jnanasya, the end of all knowledge. It's like saying, what is the end of the universe, right? We can't even picture it. But this jnanasya ya paranishtha, the edge of this, the jnanam itself, the knowledge itself, that is Brahman, Brahma, apnoti. One who attains the end of knowledge itself, which is Brahman, by attaining the fulfillment of Nishkama Karma Yoga. Tata, that, how he does it, right? Yata, how he does it. Tata, that one, how he does it. Samasena, very briefly. Me nibodha, you learn that from me. Again, Swami, after teaching everything, now he is giving a summary. Okay? very beautifully he says. So emphasizing this Naishkama karma siddhi, very, very important that the Nishkama karma that we talked about, Naishkarmya siddhi, it says in the previous slokam, and all through he's talking about, and he's going to give a summary of that again. And when you go through the summary, then you will definitely get goose pimples. So that is what Kapila Muni has started telling Devahuti, right himself. Beautifully has given a summary of that, which is what Krishna Bhagavan gives at the end of Adhyaya 18 also, which will continue with his grace tomorrow. Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavanto. Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavanto. Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavanto. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om.